Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Millennial Management Podcast. I am your host, Brandy, the Millennial Manager, and today is Monday. If you are listening to this episode right now on a Monday, that means you are inside of Patreon. And I want to say thank you for your continued support of the podcast. If you are listening to this episode on Wednesday, hey girl, ain't nothing wrong with it. You can come on over to Patreon so you can get these episodes early. I do want to start our topic off today. Today we are going to be talking about interviewing during a bad economy, bitch. Okay? Y'all, this has been a topic of discussion on social media, along with the resume conversation. I kind of hit on it a couple weeks ago, but I do want to come back and discuss about ways we can interview that can make us a better candidate. Okay, let's say in the perfect world, your resume is amazing. You have had great resume writing services, improve your resume. However, you lack a certain level of skill, okay? To be able to communicate effectively, to be able to articulate yourself in these interviews and be able to discuss your skills, you have to be able to be comfortable with that. I think right now, a lot of people are in this oversharing culture because social media has kind of pushed that, this be authentic. But I do not believe in being your authentic self at work. I know that is killing you. I know some of you are like, I don't know how to shut it off. You have to learn. You have to learn. There has to come a day, and you need to make it right now, that we learn how to turn that part off of ourselves. We do not have to overshare all the time. Okay, guys? Okay. So one of the things that I want to talk about is if you do have a great resume, like we said in the beginning, and your resume looks good, you've had resume writers work on that, or even if you worked on it yourself or you used AI, it does not matter. I'm not here to talk about that. What I'm here to talk about is your actual interview. When you walk in, number one, you better be dressed. Okay? I'm not talking about jeans. I'm talking about we need to go back to professional wear. Slacks, flats, long skirts, long sleeve shirts. I know it's hot as hell outside, but we need to be dressing professional. Find you a nice blouse, a suit, something. You need to be wearing something that screams like, I am a professional. The reason why is you do not want to be going in for these interviews and that be the thing. Like, that would be such a stupid fucking reason. You can have a good resume, but the way that you present yourself is what throws people the fuck off. You have to be aware of that. The way that we present ourselves is what throws them off. Even with a good resume. That's what I'm telling you. There are some boxes that we need to check, okay? Please make sure that you have professional wear, guys. I cannot tell you how many times I have interviewed candidates for entry-level front desk making $24 an hour, and these people come in here with jeans on. Okay? Jeans with holes. And this is a place where you're going to be presenting treatment plans, communicating with patients about financing, discussing treatment that could be upwards to thousands of dollars, tens of thousands. If people want to recrown, if they want to do veneers, you need to look the part. So coming to work or coming to an interview like you are literally going to hang out at the mall with your homegirl, that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable, and we need to stop it now. So number one, you need to be dressed to impress, okay? Make sure your interview outfits are neat and tidy. You don't have any holes or it's not too revealing. It needs to be perfect, okay? Also, when you walk into that interview and they ask you, so tell me a little bit about yourself. Don't you open up, well, I have 3 kids and I've been married for... That ain't got shit to do with that. That's a trap. Don't fall for it, because legally, they cannot ask you, do you have any children? They can't ask you about your marital status. They can't ask you if you're pregnant. They can't ask you if you're thinking about getting pregnant. They cannot ask you any of that in this interview. But you just gave them all the information. So when they ask you, they say, tell us a little bit about yourself. You need to stick to professional things only, professional topics. Talk about your career, how long you have been in this field, the certifications that you have gathered. If you have went back to school and got them fucking degrees, bitch, congratulations to you. If you are listening to our Monday motivation episode, you know that I have enrolled back to school so that I can get my bachelor's degree, okay? Clock it. Y'all can't see me clocking it, but just know we're clocking it together. But you have done those things. You need to discuss them. Okay, I graduated from school at this and this date. I decided to go back and get my master's or PhD, whatever it is that you decided to go back and do. You need to discuss it. Talk about it. Okay, you also need to discuss your positions, your roles that are relevant to the position that you are applying for. You understand? Don't reach back to 2005. We're going to stick to what is relevant. Okay, what is relevant to the position that you're applying for? If you're applying to be an ops manager, ops director, then you need to be talking about your position as an assistant before you became the director. What were some of the things that you did at this current or at your current position? What are some of the things that you're doing? Not did, but what are some of the things that you're doing in this current role that relates to the position that you're applying for? Okay, get comfortable in that. You need to actually study your resume. Okay, use it for talking points. That is important. Use your resume for talking points. Too many people have a resume, but they don't necessarily use it in a way for them to create general conversation. So pick out a few things, a few skills that you have obtained during the time that you've been working at your current role, also during the time that you've been working, period, and discuss how it's going to move this company forward. Because at the end of the day, that's all they really give a fuck about. They cannot ask you, are you pregnant? Do you have children? Stop bringing it up, ladies. You understand me? Say yes. Thank you. People overshare because they think it is going to make them relatable, when really all it does is disqualify you. That's it. You're giving them reasons to not hire you without even talking about your experience, without even talking about the things that you can bring forth. That's all you're doing. Stop sharing it. I know it sounds really cute and you just want to share. You feel like it kind of provides you with an idea that you're a stable person. But no, kids are a distraction. Be honest. For those of us who have children, we know how much time and effort it requires. We're in our last leg with Mackenzie. She's in her senior year. And right now, it's taking a lot of my time to prepare her. We're trying to get her scholarships and she's looking at different school options. And we want to make sure that she has the best send off possible. So that's taking up a lot of my time. If I was to go to an interview and tell them, I'm so wrapped up in my daughter's senior year, we're doing photos and all this other stuff, they'd be like, girl, you got a lot of shit going on. You actually cannot give us any attention at all. Your mind's not going to be there. You're going to be focused on doing whatever it is that you need to do for your daughter. You're not going to be focused on this. You have a kindergartner. I have a kindergartner. What if I went in there and started talking about, yeah, my youngest, he's going to be starting kindergarten. It's so good. It's da-da-da-da-da. And I'm talking about his first day and how we're preparing, how I'm going to plan to take a week off. And I don't need to say that. I don't need to communicate that. I need to keep that to myself. Okay? As attractive as you think those things are, you feel like it gives you a great line of communication. I would not communicate anything about my personal life inside of an interview. Be very careful with that. And they bait you in a different way, right? They may start talking about their kids or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's so nice. And not reveal anything. Okay? I had one lady try to tell me about when I was interviewing for a position. This was back in Florida. And she was telling me that, like, her son had just picked up soccer. And I was like, oh, wow, that's so cool. Fully knowing that my son was doing soccer that year. And my daughter had just did soccer the year before, my middle child. I wasn't finna tell her about nothing that Junior was doing. Nothing. It is none of your business. I'm not finna tell you that I am a sports mom and my kids have a lot of sports activity. They did Mackenzie did cheerleading, tennis, cross country, Junior did soccer, cross country, wrestling. I'm not finna tell you that. That's none of your business. Okay? So practice not divulging so much or over talking, over sharing. They also don't need to know if you don't have reliable transportation. If you know your ass is going to get on that fucking bus and find you a way to work, you know that you're going to make sure that your children have somewhere to go. Shut up. Don't try to garner sympathy. They are not Superman. They are not Superwoman. And this leads me into my next part. Do not talk negatively about your current place of employment. Where you work right now is a wonderful place to work, bitch. You hear me? Even if it's not. It is a wonderful place to work and you're learning so much and you're just looking for other opportunities to grow because there's not a lot of room to move forward or to move up. You understand me? However you want to word it, that's how you word it. I don't give a damn if your boss is the Joker. I don't care. Do not tell them that. Your boss is amazing. You all have a great relationship and it's so awesome. He's a great mentor. She's a great mentor. Everything is so good. Yes. Yes. I know. It's hard for you to say that because you have a terrible fucking boss. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. They're not your Superman. You're not Lois. They're not here to save your ass. They are here to hire you to do a job and you need to look at it like that. You understand? Say yes. Thank you so much. Now, in your communicating, you need to find a way to ask your questions. I know sometimes you might say, I don't have any questions because it was a pretty well explained interview process. Maybe they gave you a great background on the company, whatever, but you still need to drum up some questions. So before you even walk in, write down a few questions and kind of study those things. I mean, like, okay, I'm going to ask about the company structure, and it should be along the same lines for each organization as long as they have not already told you. If they gave you a rundown of the company's organization, don't ask that question again because then you look like you're not listening. Okay? We want somebody who is coherent. Make sure that you are asking questions that are relevant. If they did not necessarily give you the hours of operation, maybe the salary has like a range and there's not something that is specific, then that's the time to talk about it. So if they ask and they say, do you have any other questions? Yes. I was wondering about the salary range. I do have about this many years of experience. And I was looking for this amount as far as my salary. Okay. And you can either say currently I am at this rate. Now, if you are somebody who is moving up within your company, do not pad your salary. Don't do that. But if you are coming from a different organization and there's not going to be any overlap between this crossover, pad that salary, girl. Pad it. Extra 10, extra 20 so that you can get an extra 10 or 20 on top of that. And then you can actually see the fucking increase. Y'all fuck up every single time when you go in here and ask for, if you are somebody who makes like hourly pay, let's say you're 24, 25, and you're like, I just want 27, right? 27 sounds like a lot, but really you're only going to get about $1 out of this pay increase. If you know that your pay is currently $25, you need to say, I currently make $27 and I was hoping to kind of be at 29. That gives you a pay increase that you can actually see, that you can actually feel. That's what you want. If you're somebody who is salary, like I am salary, and you make over $100,000, you need to add a little bit. Add it. Number one, once you reach that level of salary, you know that you are taxed way different. Okay, especially if you are someone who does not have children. You are a single income earner, then you know that you are going to be taxed up the wazoo. So make sure that you pad your salary to give yourself some ability to actually feel the salary increase that you are requesting. Now, rounding up your interview, after you have asked your questions, make sure that you exit, shake hands. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I hope to hear from you all soon. You all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. And you leave. Do not harass them people. I know it is tempting in this economy to call every day and check on their application, but if they want you, they are going to call you. You understand? I know. Fight the feeling. Fight the feeling. You're not going to make them hire you. It's not. I know you. It shows that I'm interested. They know you're interested because you came to the interview. You hear what I'm saying? They know that. And I actually saw a video that this lady actually articulated herself terribly, but I knew exactly what she was saying on TikTok. And she's saying, like, stop calling on this application is driving me crazy. I can't really get to it. But really what she's saying is like, girl, we already know that you're interested. You came to the interview. You did great. However, we do have other applicants. And if they're really professional, they will communicate and let you know, like, hey, we do have other interviews, so we're going to be narrowing it down. Like, for me, I have to do first round, and the second round is the actual working interview where they work in the location. I have to do that in dentistry, especially with my assistants and front desk, because I have to know what they can do. I mean, people can interview great and tell me, like, I'm so amazing, I'm so great, I can do all things in Christ who strengthens me. But then when they get on the job, it's totally different. So I never hire straight from an interview. I always provide a few days of working interviews for those several interviews. So if I have 5 interviews for the week, if I like 3 of them are getting working interviews, and I pick the 1 or 2 from that group, and then I save that other resume because at least I like them to do the working interview, or maybe they just weren't as good as the other 2. And then if a position opens up in the future, then I go ahead and give them a call and see if they're available. But I do let them know that they were not selected for the position. But I do feel like calling and all of that, I don't think is necessary. I think calling constantly just kind of pushes your resume down to the bottom is what I feel like. Now, do I do that? No. I just tell people, unfortunately, we move to the other direction, or I send them an email, or, you know, whatever that response is that's necessary for that moment. But I would not call them and harass them because you're not going to make them hire you. Now, I don't have any emails specifically about the resume and about interviewing because I talk about it a little bit on social media, and I think we talked about it, I want to say last week through a post. So I'm going to be wrapping up today's episode just there. So those are your tips to interviewing in a bad economy. Keep applying, guys. Don't give up. I know it is really easy for me to say that because I'm not actually the person who is applying, but I am telling you that you have to keep doing it. You have to make it a rhythm. You have to make it consistent, because that one job that you don't apply to is the one you are probably going to get. So stop doubting yourself because you don't have all the things that they're looking for on that resume. If you got a couple of those things and you mark a few of those boxes, you will more than likely be the candidate that they select. So don't count yourself out just because you don't exactly match. But also, don't give up if you don't get it. Okay? Stay focused. Please stay focused on the outcome and what you're looking for. If you do have your job and you are just looking to exit and go to another job, don't you fucking quit that job unless you got some good financial support behind you. Do you understand me? Say yes. Thank you so much. For those of you who are in a bad situation and you know you in a bad situation, don't you quit that fucking job. And you know that motherfucker is not dependable. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, shit. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Do not quit your job if you know that you are not in a relationship that is faithful, number 1, steady, number 2, and that they got your back. If those things aren't there, do not quit your job. Make sure that you have something else lined up, okay? Okay. Now, y'all have a good ass day. For those of you who are listening inside of Patreon, again, thank you so much for your continued support. For those of you who are outside of Patreon and you are listening on Wednesday, I hope that you have a good ass day. I hope everybody have a good ass day when you're listening, but I really appreciate your continued support. And y'all have a good one. Share me with all of your peoples and leave me reviews and let me know how I did today. That's it. Y'all have a good one. Bye.